Minnesota Vikings take on the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Week 9. And so when you look at what this game means for both teams, what the hell is this? What is this? What is this? What is this right here? Oh yeah, it's a champion's hat. I'm surprised it's not made out of gold. You see this? You see this W? It doesn't stand for Washington. No, it stands for winning. And you're damn right. I'm going to gloat because as of yesterday, the Washington Nationals are now the third team out of 4 professional sports teams that I root for that I have witnessed win a championship. So that includes the Dallas Mavericks, the Washington Capitals, and now the Washington Nationals. The Minnesota Vikings are the only team left remaining. We'll see if they get it done. But when you look at what this game means, Vikings versus Chiefs, for both teams, the Vikings, they are looking to extend their 4-game winning streak. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs, they kind of have their backs against the wall at 5-3. They're looking to bounce back after losing 3 straight home games. And so the biggest question for the Vikings is which quarterback will be playing on Sunday for the Chiefs? Will it be Patrick Mahomes or will it be Matt Moore? So if it is going to be Patrick Mahomes, even at 65-70%, we're still talking about facing the best offense in the NFL because their passing game consists of screen passes or downfield deep passes. There's no in between. So a typical Chiefs offensive possession will look something like boom, 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 touchdown, and there's nothing you can do about it. And their offensive weapons have no holes whatsoever. We talk about the receivers and their tight ends. Tyreek Hill, Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, McCole Hartman, Travis Kelce. And they also have a good 1-2 punch with their running back committee of Damian Williams and Shady McCoy. And so if Patrick Mahomes were to play in this game, I think we're looking at a shootout a la Rams versus Vikings 2018 to where no defense shows up and to where whoever has the final offensive possession wins that game, or which defense can make just that one stop that can make all the difference in the world. And it's bad enough that Patrick Mahomes can make every throw possible that you're looking for from a high caliber quarterback in the NFL. But let's say if you're on defense and you have him dead to rights, you're chasing him outside the pocket, you have him near the sidelines, he can improv his passes as well with that sidearm. So it's going to be a tough test, but the one area of opportunity that they have, or the Vikings have anyway, the one weakness that the Chiefs have on offense is their offensive line, which can be a bit leaky at times. So their left tackle, Eric Fisher, has been out since week 2 after having a sports hernia surgery. And so who knows if he'll be back against the Vikings in week 9. And so as long as the defensive line can get pressure, and I'm looking at the 2 defensive tackles, Linval Joseph and Shamar Stephen, if you can stay in the middle, because Griffin and Hunter, they'll get the outsides. They're going to get there no matter what. But as long as they can contain that middle just even a little bit, because even if it get pushed out, then that invites Patrick Mahomes to move up into the pocket, and that gives more time for Mahomes to find the open receivers, like a good quarterback is supposed to do. But let's say if Matt Moore were to play instead. Obviously, the offense is going to get dumbed down. Just slightly, though. It's going to get dumbed down just a little bit because they're still going to be aggressive. They're still going to go with downfield passes, just not as often as Patrick Mahomes were to do if he were to be quarterback. They're going to utilize the RPOs, the play action, and they're still one of the best offenses in the league at going with the screen game. So that brings me to Mike Zimmer. If you're going to do what you've been doing all year long, having your cornerbacks play 6 or 7 yards off the receivers, then the Chiefs are just going to get consistent first down conversions, whether it's an easy 7 yards or more with yards after contact, certainly after the reception. And what's interesting about the screen game as well is going back to last week's win, Vikings over Redskins, Andrew Kramer of the Star Tribune posted an article talking about Xavier Rhodes' struggles in the season, in which Xavier Rhodes was quoted as saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, "In pass coverage, I've been great. The only thing that's hurt me in my game that's hurting this team is the penalties. I need to turn my head around, and I've got a target on my back. I got a reputation with the referees for being super physical, and the rules, they're just not fair." So at first, when I thought that Xavier Rhodes was taking some responsibility for his piss poor play, he then in turn put all the blame on everyone but himself. And then Mike Zimmer talked about how he purposely has his cornerbacks playing, or Xavier Rhodes playing off coverage, so that way he can minimize the damage and receivers can just catch passes underneath. I don't understand why Xavier Rhodes gets a pass, because Mike Zimmer said, I'm good with Xavier Rhodes. He's playing great. Oh, my God. I don't understand why nobody else is complaining, but Xavier Rhodes, oh, I have a target on my back. It's not fair. And so I quote tweeted Andrew Kramer's article on Twitter, and I said, wow, there is zero self-awareness being exercised here. And Andrew Kramer responded, and he said, read the article. And he didn't just say read the article. He said read the article. Just very sassy. In which I'm saying, all right, dude, go suck an egg. What's up with these Vikings media members that are just super sensitive? I know I did a podcast before the season started in which I talk about sensitive Vikings media members, and I'm not going to say their names because I'm not going to promote their content. I think they're both clowns. We'll call them Tweedledee and Tweedledum. But I actually like Andrew Kramer, so I don't understand where that was coming from. In fact, he talked about, oh, you're not understanding the nuances. Read the article. The nuance of what? Purposely playing off coverage to allow the underneath passes. Even with the deep passes, Xavier Rhodes is getting chopped up. You saw what Case Keenum did to Xavier Rhodes before he went down before the end of the first half. So what are we talking about here? And I responded, read the article. I read the article. Xavier Rhodes is giving nothing but excuses. How about you rewrite your article? You're doing a better job of covering for Xavier Rhodes than Xavier Rhodes has done covering wide receivers. I said that before. Andrew Kramer proceeded to delete his tweets and block me on Twitter. I thought it was super soft, but if Xavier Rhodes is out there, I think he's going to have a bad game as he had all season long. And can we stop with the Julio Jones crap? Oh my God, he shut down Julio Jones. Yeah, with help and other players guarding him from time to time. He wasn't shadowing him the whole game, and that was back in week 1. We are now 2 months since that game, and Xavier Rhodes hasn't done jack since that game. Enough with that crap. But I will say this, though. One more thing. As far as Patrick Mahomes versus Matt Moore, I, for one, hope that Patrick Mahomes is healthy enough to play in this game. I think it will be a good test for this team. You either go 7-2, where you can hold your head up high and establish a true identity, or you go 6-3. Worst case scenario, you're still in the playoff hunt, and you can take this as a learning experience because it's still early in the season to say, okay, what do we need to improve upon when we face these other quality teams for the rest of the regular season and eventually the playoffs? I think either way, it's a good get for the Vikings. I want Patrick Mahomes to play. If we think we're contenders, then we should not be scared if Patrick Mahomes play. Oh, the Packers, they played the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes. Screw the Packers. No disrespect to Packers fans out there. I don't care what the Packers do. This is the Vikings situation, and if Patrick Mahomes play, then so be it. If you're supposed to be a contender, then show up and put your chips on the table. And if you're actively, all due respect, if you're actively rooting for Patrick Mahomes to be out of the game on Sunday just so the Vikings can get a cakewalk of a win, while at the same time thinking the Vikings are legit contenders, that is incredibly weak. You need to be able to face up these quality competition teams in the NFL. These championship teams, the Patriots and whoever else, yes, the Patriots, they have an easy-ass schedule, but they've been winning championships after championships. These teams that win championships, they go up against quality teams in the regular season too, and they win or lose games. Why are we so afraid for the Vikings to go up against legit competition? And then not only that, I want to see if this team is for real. The last 4 games, it's been great. They've won in a row, but this will be a true test if Patrick Mahomes play, not only for the sake of, is this Vikings team for real, but also for Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer is now in his 6th season as head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. When you look at his previous 5 seasons, as far as going up against teams with a winning record, teams that have finished the regular season with a winning record, including the playoffs, his record against those teams, against winning teams, is 13-26. It is absolutely pathetic. That's not me hating on Mike Zimmer. That's just facts. So you need to get it together, and we need to see if this team is for real. You can't hide forever and pad up wins against soft-ass teams. You need to show up. If you're going to win, you need to show up against real teams. Stop trying to hide back and forth. So I want to see Patrick Mahomes play in this game. I think the Vikings have a chance to win this game, whether Patrick Mahomes plays or not. Then we get to the defense, which brings up the theme of the game, run the Autobahn, because the roads are going to be wide open. No pun intended on Xavier Rhodes, even though roads have been wide open on him this entire season. But roads are going to be wide open on this Autobahn that is the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And so with that said, there is one police officer that can be a stick in the mud that will try to throw down the law, lay down the law, even though you can do whatever you want on the Autobahn. And that police officer is Officer Frank Clark. I'm looking forward to seeing the matchup of Brian O'Neill versus Frank Clark. If you can minimize the damage there, then I think you'll be fine. He is the one difference maker for this Kansas City Chiefs defense from being okay to being absolute crap. I think Dalvin Cook will get over 100 yards rushing, and I think Kirk Cousins has no excuse to not go off for at least 350 yards passing and at least 3 touchdowns against this Kansas City Chiefs defense. So we'll see what happens. We do this 3 times a week. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We do this 3 times a week. Mediocre at Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy. Facebook at Realistic Randy. The next podcast will be on Monday, reacting to the outcome of the Vikings-Chiefs game on Sunday. We'll see you then. Happy Halloween, everybody.